Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as I say, I mean, we have interacted with most of you. Myself, Venkat, has been the co-founder of eVidyaloka, has been passionately driving a tech-driven initiative of this, and has come a long way in seeing where we are today. And excited to actually have more people join in this journey in various forms and capacity. Uh, and take pride in actually being able to be interact in each one of you for a common cause. Right? That's what excites me. The tech for larger social good and involving as a community is something what drives me actually. Yeah. So maybe we can go around the tile and be free to introduce yourself. Actually, have. Hello, you want to go? That
Yeah, let me do that. So welcome everyone. I'm really eager to get to know a lot of folks here, which I don't know. But just one correction, if I may, Venkat. Step is not the custodian of Sunbird. Step as an organization definitely have deep beliefs of the open source and the value of things which Sunbird brings, and we definitely have, probably you can say, the initial organization who started to get the basic foundation going from Sunbird. But Sunbird is a community initiative. It is as much as X steps as any other organization, whether it is Venkat from eVidyaloka or any one of you, right? So please, I just want to correct that it's a community. We just started as X step as an organization, so we want this to grow and thrive in a true community manner. No single organization will be the custodian of this, and I think some of those are already happening, as you can see. Venkat starting the serve, right? So that is one. In my X-Step avatar, I'm just decoupling the Sunbird community from X-Step avatar, because I'm same as any other community member in Sunbird. So, but in my X-Step avatar, I play a role of Chief Product Officer. Some of my colleagues are here. I rather play a coach role for my team rather than typical hierarchy. But yeah, I know titles create a little confusion here. But yeah, I've been on a journey of this for last almost 4.5 years, and I've had the opportunity to work in large scale population scale systems before that. So that we are just, I mean, at least from my perspective, I'm learning from those past experience and learning further and using some of them in this.
sure. Thanks, Alok. I can see. We can. I think one of you can pick and go forward. Actually.
Yeah, hi. I'm Kamesh. I do work for Xstep. Basically, I've been product manager at Xstep, and also looking Diksha as an overall solution. I've also been associated with eVidyaloka, where I was a volunteer for a couple of years teaching maths. So, yeah.
Thanks, Kamesh.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Krishna. I'm a product manager at TakeStep, and I'm also a very active member of the product community of Sunbird Ed and Sunbird Knowledge. So Ed is one of the building blocks which is powering Diksha today. So very proud to be associated with Sunbird and open source software, which is actually powering one of the largest DPG in India, right? So it's a very proud moment. And I've interacted with Venkat last, I think, 5 months back when we were whiteboarding the serve workflows and stuff like that. And I completely resonate with the passion that the community brings on board and the kind of experience that Venkat has running volunteering on the ground. It really energizes us on a day-to-day basis. So these are the interactions that keep us running. And today, I think on a weekend probably we look forward to something else. But today's weekend, I was actually looking forward to the 8 a.m. call that Venkat had set up. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Krishna. Sashi, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Sashi. I I work in Google. I'm a software engineer, manager there. I co-founded Where Is My Train a few years back. Uh, though my software career goes before that, but I think that's something which I was very passionate about, and we are still working on public transport for India. Apart from that, I'm really passionate in education for children in India, and I've been associated from. I knew the co-founders of eVidyaloka. That's how I came across Venkat Vishi, and always I tried to be also. I was a volunteer for some brief times when I was in States, but right now I'm like wanting to do something more. I I pulled my son, I energized him, so he's excited more in open source in general. So he's like really excited about what's going on now. So yeah.
Yeah. So before Sanandan introduce, I want to share with you, so Sanandan has already contributed to the current Jupyter platform, and a few of his features are already production live and in use by large number of users, guys. Sanandan, love to have you introduce.
So yeah, my name is Sunandan. Like I also like my dad said I do have a passion like open source software and like helping other people. There's like
You can say what you're doing now.
in eVidyaloka, like I currently am in 11th grade in IB. In case you didn't know, IB is a board. It's a very stressful board for 11th and 12th grade, and I love computer science. I have used passive computer science and like in general like programming, and especially like Python, Go, Rust, and those stuff, and JavaScript and those type of languages. In eVidyaloka, I've already started like an internship there. I've already made like a couple of features like published working slots, improving that, and then adding like activities and stuff. And I plan to do more. Right now, I could really do much in the past like a few couple of weeks because like I had board exams, but once that happens, I'll be able to contribute much more. So I hope that will be.
So Sanandan is in grade 11 in Inventure Academy in Bangalore, actually.
In the TISD.
Sorry?
He's in TISD.
Oh, TISD. Sorry, I somehow thought it was Inventure. Okay, sure. Yeah, Soumya?
Yeah. Hi, it's good to see everyone with diverse background coming together for a greater cause. We all share a common interest, and what a great way to start weekend. Passion is our energy. And yeah, I work in eVidyaloka since 1.5 years, and now ready to serve the Sunbird surf community. Yeah. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks, Soumya. Shruti?
Sure. Hi, my name is Shruti. I actually work in SAP. I work as a senior product manager. I came across working with eVidyaloka with the social sabbatical program. So this was sometime last year, end of last year. And I was extremely motivated and inspired looking at how things are done. It was a very short engagement though, but I definitely wanted to do a little bit more. So I am so glad that Venkat reached out again. And yeah, I mean, I'm again very inspired by the people listening to all of you and the kind of work you have been doing. And I'm looking forward to what we could do together. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Shruti. Sachin?
Hey, good morning, everyone. So I'm Sachin, currently working with IBM as a architect and around 23 years experience across various organizations like Infosys, Lucent, and HCL. So my association with Venkat, like he's my senior from college, and after like 15 20 years again we got connected, and I was very much interested in the way somehow getting associated with you and contribute to a social cause, though we have been interacting for almost now 7 8 months, but I think this is a good start where I will be definitely get more involved and start contributing have more association.
Yeah. Thanks, Sachin. We met Sachin actually, I mean, while the college brought together, got excited when he had made a pitch to Ego Foundation on a fintech stack of what he has done was so very resonating towards how we can, but how actually people think for the larger good. We all think tech guys just go to the mall and weekends have some couple of beers and spend the time. But when I saw his pitch to the Ego guys on the fintech space, it was very inspiring. Thanks, Sachin. We have Navendu. I don't know who's there on the screen actually. Navendu Saxena, if you can. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
please.
yeah. Hi, hi, hello everybody. So somehow my Google Meet video is not working. I'm really sorry for that. Yeah, so I am Navendu and I am also working with Sunbird. Right now, I am a very active member in Sunbird Co-Create. And for Sunbird Serve, actually, we were having a lot of internal discussions, and it is really exciting to know that what the team is doing. And so it was yesterday only we were discussing, and I thought to take part in the call and see like how things are moving. So yeah, pretty exciting to
Thank,
be here now.
thank you so much, Navendu. Yeah. Raghu, Sarvesh?
Um, 1 minute, let me turn on my
Yeah.
camera. Hi, everybody. Good evening, good morning. I'm actually working at IBM as a security and compliance architect, and I've been with IBM since I graduated in '97. And I know Venkat; he's my classmate, so we both are school buddies from sixth grade to 12th. We studied together, so that's how I know him. And when he left working for IT and started this, it was really amazing that he did this 10 years back. And we were all amazed to see his growth and what he could vision in the last 10 years. And I wanted to be part of this journey, but somehow it was getting delayed. And this time when I went to Bangalore to meet him, I decided to join and contribute to eVidyaloka in one way or the other. I've been volunteering and teaching here in the US, but it's a different kind of organization. And working with my school buddies would always be nice and great. So I pulled in my son Sarvesh also. I don't know how much he could contribute, but I let him talk for himself. He's in computer science second year in UT Austin. So I'm looking forward. This is my first type of open source contribution. So I'm excited to do this. I've been working part of IBM as a architect and developer, but open source I've never held my hands in. Even though IBM is a big contributor for open source, but this will be a great opportunity for me to do that. And I'm passionate about programming and then teaching. So my expertise is in Java and Python. So hope to contribute to eVidyaloka's greater cause.
Sure.
So thanks for giving me this opportunity, Venkat.
Thanks a lot, Raghu. I mean, so as we said that as trespassers will be prosecuted in my life, anybody crosses across will be prosecuted down to the cause of eVidyaloka. So welcome board, Raghu. Sarvesh, do you want to introduce yourself? You're on and say hello.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sarvesh, and I'm studying computer science and math at UT Austin. So I mainly work with Qiskit and within IBM's like quantum computing division. But as part of their advocate program, I work with people like worldwide to educate students and the younger generation on this new technology. So I love to educate, and that's what brought me here. So.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming on board here, Sarvesh. Shravya?
Hi, Venkat. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So, my name is Shravya Shader, and I work as a technical architect in data matrix. So, I used to be a consultant to Vidyaloka. That's how I got to know Venkat, Nikita, and Soumya. So, looking forward to this would be my first open source contribution. So, I'm excited for that as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Ravya. Nikita, last say is yours.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, all. Good to see you all and hear from you all. So, yeah, I'm Nikita. I'm from eVidyaloka. I have grew in eVidyaloka along with the platform with many features that was developed. And now looking forward to grow along with the Sunbird serve and learn from you all and make it a success. Yeah, and this is also my first open source thing experiencing. And I'll be the community coordinator going forward so that we'll be meeting often and discussing and take it forward.
Sure. Excellent. I know we ran up for a few minutes, but I think it's worth. So I'll quickly jump to share what I have today and have that brief probably in 15 minutes, and then we can come back to specific questions and how next forward actually. Let me know if you're able to see the screen again. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Venkat.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So on that note, just a quick recap. We all see, I mean, eVidyaloka journey started in 2011 and 2013 onwards, we had, embarked into a full-fledged journey. And since when it's been fascinating to have generated over 250 million child learning hours by 55,000 volunteers in different form or fashion registered through this. And today we have, a direct enrollment impact to 1 lakh children. We just crossed 1 lakh 2,000 few weeks or last month actually. And we also during COVID able to reach to a very much broader through the broadcast of the volunteer videos on the cable TV televisions and had a household reach of almost 7.5 million. And then all this with an ecosystem of 238 community connectors, different NGOs and government and volunteering partner organizations include corporates and various institutions across 11 states, 7 different languages. And as we speak, it's been kind of demonstrated, right? And we could see a very palpable impact through this journey on how a volunteer, out of his or her passion to actually help a child, able to inspire the child to learn. That's what I would say. This is not a remedial what was kind of done. It's all our own children in remote villages who are deprived of access to high quality, when enabled with one actually able to discover their true potential. And we saw not only in the form of their continuity in school, their attendance in the classes, and or near on even on the assessments that are being done, which are kind of was the core purpose. You also see them blooming beyond with this inspiration from people across the globe, interacting and connecting with them by participating in various international contests, national contests, national merit committee scholarships. Many children are now receiving merit scholarships. Most of the people are from the marginalized, probably a maximum annual income of not more than 670,000 rupees per annum, right? Has been the kind of communities or societies they come from. They won, these C.V. Raman awards. They are participating in the innovation challenges. The potential just phenomenal, and I think the future of India lies there actually. We also continue to saw that they are continuing their education. We are now having students inspired through the eVidyaloka interventions, have pursued various graduations, including engineering and various other aspects of higher education. We continue to track them, and that kind of inspires us that we truly are able to create a long-lasting impact in a scalable way, actually, right? Or demonstrated to be scaled, right? So we thought it's time now to see how we can scale this impact. Truly, which was the mission with which kind of this initiative was started, that we really can build a technology-driven solution to the education ecosystem that can reach every single child in this country, right? While the last 8-9 years has been an investment in demonstrating the efficacy, we believe it's now time to take the scale and not only scale the impact. The platform also provides an opportunity to expand on their use cases beyond in its potential. Actually, that's what the journey forward looks like. The process has been essentially that eVidyaloka enabled remote volunteering for education with its tech platform Jupiter. Right, we now see at the face that how we can champion this as a digital public good and take that beyond its intended. I mean, there are two dimensions you could see, right? One, take it beyond as an organization, go into the ecosystem, which the Sunbird, via its Diksha program, to the larger educational ecosystem that has reached or onboarded already all the 35 states and union territories, with the entire K-12 ecosystem of 230 million children who needs it. The demand comes default on board, and the volunteering aspect of the platform, if it can be added as a capability into the existing Sunbird, we really are well positioned to now serve that entire gamut of children in the education and harness this potential of what we believe we can really get 1 million volunteers to start with, actually, right? A way in which scaling the impact, right? As and this and technology as the platform as a strategy in enabling that scale, actually. It also kind of expands the use cases. I think that's what the Sunbird team and the Xtep team brings to the, inspires us to do more here is key. Expand this volunteering beyond education. So the societal participation in the larger, the country's development and global development can also happen by actually taking this voluntary beyond education. Is a potential that lies in this platform. So people can serve across sectors, actually. So that's kind of visually kind of shares here, and it also expands from remote to also physical. So it's the process of abstraction is done, and then is where the journey we are in right now, actually. So that's the opportunity that's there in front of us in building this DPG. And where we are today, as we said, the last 6-9 months, we at eVidyaloka has been spending time guided by the architects and product managers in Xtep, has done the exercise of abstraction from remote volunteering for education to volunteering interactions across sector, actually, right? So that abstraction process through which we kind of arrived at what we called as core work, which I will share briefly in the next slide, and then the architecture block. And we also able to, I crystallized this as a building block called Sunbird Serve, and we are able to bootstrap that with now the existing platform as a beta version, where we can drive certain early adopters and make this use case robust that can go population scale is the milestone one, which what call it as basically National Digital Education Architecture Principles compliant version of it. The current workflow and the use case that's abstracted, and then take forward as we would define as a community that we would define the going forward roadmap of making this volunteering across sectors, actually, right? So we are at this stage right now where we're having early adopters using the current instances as serve beta, and we're in a journey to kind of build these instances can scale significantly. In that process, we have certain early adopters who have signed up for it, starting with few non-profit organizations for which we are hosting an instance. Youth for Seva starting with few schools and experimenting Bhumi, and then there is one Lotus Petal, a Gurgaon-based NGOs looking at signing up to run few hundred schools for online volunteering. Teaching on this platform. We have Tamil Nadu government starting off their career guidance program with creating an instance. They're using this platform for it. There's a block level in Karnataka where some 5 schools and they have expressed interest to go more schools on this platform. And we have talking to a small for-profit who is interested in scaling up their remote education. And of course, there's opportunity to host it in national instance, which can bring in more government. This is all work in progress, actually, which we will do. That's kind of sets the purpose, right? What if we build, here is the initial takeoff that exists, right? That we're working on. A quick run through, I'll not walk through each one of this, but just to kind of give a glimpse, most of the information are available on the documentation that's put across serve.sunbird.org. But just kind of leaving pointers so that you can go and take a look at it. As we said, we went through the process of abstracting a particular use case to a generic use case that kind of evolved as basically 6 domains, right? Where there is supply, in this case, volunteer or people. The demand, in case, started off with teachers, and it could be any demand. We always take the example of lake cleaning or any other voluntary activity can be a demand. How they can be discovered and fulfilled by the supply, and gets delivered, and that's tracked by the platform. the delivery gets acknowledged and they promote, right? We see this as a cycle, right? And the promote plays a key role in driving the flywheel to the organically to the next level. Arrived at basically what you call it as L1 core capabilities or verbs, right, are identified, and the core personas that you see here play a role, right, right from the needs coordinator to this thing. So you can take a look. This is shared in the form of interactions diagram as well on the documentation purpose, just to give you a sense that a very high level abstracted capabilities of the platform in the form of core verbs are arrived at, based on which we kind of went on to establish the building block architecture that's in line with the Sunbird's larger architecture principles that ensures data privacy, the security guidelines, and the platform modularity, resilience, reliable, scalable aspects are kind of kept in mind, and arrived at basically what will be the new blocks that will add to it and how we can leverage the existing capabilities that exist in Sunblock in the form of registry and analytics, etc. I have not covered in this. If you go to the Sunbird, you will see that the four new blocks that we will add would be is the UI block, the registries specific to the entities involved here, and then the demand supply match, the fulfillment aspect, and of course the need management. And also there's an opportunity to define the spec itself. It can be a global standard actually for the whole volunteer management and need management. We also briefly talk about the gateway, but I will reserve it for a subsequent conversation. So with that kind of work done, right? I'll have now how do we take forward from where we are here today? Can come together as a community. Maybe Nikita, if you can take through the next 5 minutes, and then we can open up for discussion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you, Venkat. Coming together as a community, so we all have formed a community. So typically, a community, what brings us here are the passion that we all have for the education and the larger for the social development, and excited about the open source and for the digital public good. The skills that we are will be looking for, the product management, design, Python, SQL, and UI UX designing part and all. All that we need is just 3 to 4 hours in a week as a contribution for minimum of 3 months period. So this brings us as a community contributor for all of us. We all can participate by communicating in the Discord. So there's a channel created in the Discord. So please join the Discord if you have not joined still. And all the code related will be in the GitHub. So all reviews and discussions happens in the GitHub for the code related things. We have the Jira board for the backlog contribution for all the backlog stories and all will be updated in the Jira board. And let us get familiar with the community practices here, and that's the community.sunbird.org. So how this community works? So we have a community. So the community shares with the discussion forum, adds value to the discussion forum. From there, anyone can either can bring a need or they can submit the need to the tracker, that is building block issue tracker. From there, anyone can pick the issue and contribute back to the building block working group, and that adds to the repo. So this is on the high level of the how the community generally works. So we asked, yeah.
So basically, I mean, we kind of have with our own few people with one eVidyaloka and Xtep are forming the initial working group. And the first was the MVP version. We few people who want to come forward can steer basically the small fair set of people who can review, steer this while people contribute, which can be get formed as a community going forward. We also see looking at further working groups as we take shape. Once the MVP base version in place, we'll have more adopters. We can looking at to bring the users of the platform also as part of the working group who can steer the direction of what needs to be built later on. The initial goal is to translate what we have as a scalable component, which is the MVP that we are targeting. There are some use cases that are built. Just a broader idea, probably can share where we are today and then
Yeah, so this is the current backlog status that we are in. For the beta version, set up the hosted instance, we are to be decided. Student login and portal, and Python upgrades. So these three are the things which to be decided. Which way in discussion, of course. White labeling is in already in development, where Samya is working on it. Demand segregation, we have other developer called Arjun who's working on it.
The stories can be looked up on the Jira backlog.
Jira boards.
Join it, yeah.
And for the yes, Alok. I think you had something.
I just want to clarify. I believe, Nikita, all these links which you just shared few slides back, they're all accessible from serve.sunbird.org,
Yes.
which is a microsite.
Yes.
Is that
Yes, we'll make this available there shortly.
Yeah.
Some of them are already. We'll put it in a more organized way too.
Okay, so that's a landing place, right, for everything about Serve.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
For the milestone one, that is MVP, we have defined the MVP use cases, which we are reviewing in stories. This is also available in our Sunbird site. Microservice design, tech stack finalization, API design is also in progress. Database design, UI UX design, design review and establish base code infrastructure. So all these things has been defined for the milestone.
So that's kind of where we are today. Maybe we can take a pause here, discuss your question, or there is another 5 minutes how the development process works. Should we cover that and then open for discussion? Actually, what is the call for the preference from the folks in the room? Should we just finish this dev process also, or is it too much? We can pause, take, discuss, and then cover this as part of the discussion. Actually, we'll go with what the group wants.
Yeah, let's complete the development process and then we can...
Okay, go ahead, Soumya.
Yeah, thanks, Nikita. So Venkat and Nikita have already taken us through the use case or the architecture and even the backlog. So I will now briefly explain the how part of it. That is the development process. Firstly, the need is identified from the issue tracker. It could be a bug, a minor enhancement, a major enhancement, or even a new feature itself. And then a discussion thread will be initiated on the same. Community members, that is all of us actively discuss on the thread, suggest ideas, and it's then open for development, where a contributor could pick up the particular change and it is selected for contribution. So this is where the development begins, whereas a sponsor would be identified from the working group, would work along with the contributor. It could be on the functional design or technical artifacts, and then the entire software lifecycle would begin, wherein code is then locally tested, merged, and all the entire software lifecycle. Moving on to the build and deploy, like most of the building block have a dev and a staging environment. When there are no issues found, changes are moved to the dev environment, which undergoes SIT and then move to the staging environment. And post successful completion of all these different testing, even the release testing, there would be a sign off for the release, where it would be now ready for release. Venkat, could you please move to the next? Yeah. So basically, there are two types of release, which I'll just briefly explain. The intermediate release is when there's no dependency basically on the other building block, but it still undergoes the same, most of the life cycle part of it, with a lesser regression scenarios. Whereas a stable release would depend on other building blocks too, and hence a thorough testing and more regression cycle would take place. And additionally, there could be hot release too, where there are urgent fixes done. And there would be a release calendar also published, which both the contributor and the adopter could refer to, which is maintained by the building block working group. So I've just explained or taken you through this entire life cycle of development or deploy and release very briefly. What we suggest is to go through the Sunbird community guidelines. There is a guideline for this entire thing, which is like depicted very in a very detailed way with a proper workflow. We suggest that you go through as a starting point of it. And now maybe we can take if you have any questions.
Sure. Thanks, Soumya. Yeah. So let's kind of is run through, kind of throw the floor open for it and have questions. And then we, of course, have certain suggestions to how we can go about based on the current backlog that we have, how we can warm up and then get this engine running actually. But yeah, we'll pause here and use next 15-20 minutes to discuss, exchange more thoughts and views on this.
I was wondering if whatever, Nikita, for example, you shared that there are already certain issues, the workflow that you and Soumya explained, right? Is there something already on GitHub, something that you have already gone through this process, which I can track through so that we know? Because you said you can raise an issue and then you would go ahead and probably there's a need that is created and then it's extended. Is there something that I can refer back to so that I understand or familiarize myself looking into what is already done?
Yes, Shruti. So we have it. We in the Jira board we have the stories, which is already we have already updated in the first level of use. I mean the stories. Use cases is updated in the GitHub. In the Git book we have updated.
Both the links you can share in the Discord.
I'll share it. I'll share it with you, Shruti. So you can go through that and we can have a discussion on it. We can work together.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, maybe Venkat, some of these links you can share in that discussion forum.
Yeah.
I believe all of us are there, so it's easy to kind of access them.
Sure. Yeah, we'll be also uploading this stuff, deck and also individual links actually. That's relevant. Both of the things. I think those are all the things. So net, I mean, Nikita will facilitate most of this community engagement, management, and for the coordination that will require, maybe even the periodic interactions like this and allocation. So any specific queries, she would respond on the forum as till we get a collective stability on it. And anything to do with the development hacker, Soumya will play the process that she just mentioned in terms of managing the branches and managing the build and bringing together reviewers. She'll play the anchor role to start with as we kind of gain familiarity more into the process of getting it done.
So I have one suggestion, setting up the document, sharing it in Discord. So what I would prefer is like have a pinned document and then keep on editing that and then add that. That way, anybody could go to the pin. If you just add it after a few days, people have to scroll up and down. And I see that in Slack, which we use, and it's really painful. So what I would suggest is somebody who is the leader, have one pinned document. Don't have multiple pins. Then again, we have to search through the pins. So development means there should be one, and you keep editing that and add stuff to that. That way, always anything to do with development, I would go there and then refer it. For project release or something, you have a release pin, and then you can go check that one. So that way, you have few boards which is pinned to the Discord thing, and then everybody could just click that one and go view that. And also, if there is a web page where you can put all this stuff, that will also be useful. Where we have a landing. I think there is one serve.sunbird.org.
That will be the landing page where we'll put there in the contributors landing page, Raghu. Yes.
Okay.
Great point. Yeah, I think the pinning, you want to keep that in mind, Nikita.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you, Raghu. Thank you for that point.
Sure. I have a basic question. Okay. eVidyaloka is building this or on top of an existing platform which is developed by the Sunbird org. Can somebody explain that? How this is done?
So maybe I'll ask Shravya, I mean, who was the author of the current version and the previous version as well. Shravya, do you want to share to Raghu?
So Venkat, I can tell based on the last hour discussion, I guess. So
we're on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah. So based on the last discussion, it would be independent system, but we will be using the reusable blocks from the current system, right?
So
So
basically,
current,
Raghu, what we are doing is we have the current version, which is Jupyter, which you saw, and then you're setting it up right now, is what eVidyaloka has developed over the last 7-8 years. It is meant with a specific use case in mind and with its own context and constraints through these phases. What we are doing is we had two choices, right? Either rework, re-architect, and put those serviceability, modularity, data privacy, etc., and then get to a next version. Based on the architect's review, we realized that this can be a good pilot instance for early adopters for a smaller scale. And we thought we will leverage the workflows and the use cases that we had gained from it and create a greenfield building block that complies to the larger architectural principles that will allow to scale truly at a national level, actually. Right? When you're looking at, we probably are doing some few hundred schools here. The block we would want to run for tens of thousands of schools, probably lakh schools in the next probably 2-3 years, actually. So for that scale, we did not want to, we thought it's worth better to bring those workflows and bring construct those components in a way that are more scalable. More importantly, can address the data management more effectively today, and also there are a lot of design constraint that exist in this thing. So we thought we will not carry that and rather actually use this opportunity to make a clean build. So this will be a greenfield component. The first version will have most of the capabilities what the beta have, and from there onwards, based on the adopters, we will continue to extend with the larger focus on the volunteering side of it, actually. So that's the approach, Raghuva.
Yeah, if I just add one thing, Venkat, I think it's also correct, right? That when you will do that, you will also leverage some of the existing other Sunbird building blocks, right? So I think Raghu, probably you were also keen to know that, right? So it's a reusable aspect also kept in consideration.
Raghu, for example, today there is if you have to search or discover, right? The current component is very constrained. It's on a SQL, not very optimally schema designed, etc. When you move to this Sunbird building block architecture, you have actually discovery and searches, right? The taxonomies are defined, the registry management. There are existing building blocks that can be leveraged. We don't have to really rebuild or create many of the things, which will be a constraint for a existing platform. Hence, the newer approach is taken. So where the thinking high level, the deep architect and design things are think out. So I expecting code base to be much smaller, actually, thinner and efficient. Is how I see will help. Yeah, both leverage both the existing blocks and as well as build the new ones that are more compliant to these guidelines, which is important when you want to go national, and that too with the formal government education systems.
So eVidyaloka is currently on your own platform, which you built. So you're going to migrate to this new one, or have you migrated already, or what's the?
Our goal would be I think once we have stability, maybe in 6 to 9, I am targeting 6 to 9 months. eVidyaloka should also be using. This is essentially the roadmap for Jupyter going forward, actually.
So then you will sunset the old eVidyaloka platform.
Naturally.
Okay.
It'll be one of the clients.
So right now you have your own platform. There has nothing to do with Sunbird. You're building this, and then you're going to start with some new customers.
Yes.
And then eVidyaloka will migrate to this eventually.
Correct.
Okay.
We saw a few early adopters, right? So those use cases, to some extent, the discussions have happened, and we have kind of scoped it into the first MVP, first milestone, is it?
Yeah. Okay. Which is basically primarily the remote teaching.
Okay, it's in the field of education.
You want volunteers to basically give live sessions to their students. So the same use case fits in. Right now, the use case address Max Science English. There it will be a mentoring or the career guidance sessions for which they have resources. The core value is volunteers will address live interactive sessions to students, actually. And they're using this platform to enable that voluntary interaction in their schools.
So this will be a SaaS solution, and you are providing it to various customers, correct?
It could be either ways, actually, right? Depending on the scale and size. It's designed to be a SaaS. For example, now we are setting up this hosted instance for these few NGO clients, right, who may not want to set up. Whereas Tamil Nadu, if you look at it, they said, I will host my own instance. So they are taking this and actually setting it up in their is called Education Management Information System, EMIS. They are taking it and integrating with their, so they'll have their own instance. So that
will be an on-prem installation.
Yeah, on-prem, correct.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So this SaaS Venkat eVidyaloka will be hosting. Is that correct?
Yeah, right now we are actually, I mean, to start with, we are hosting an separate instance for the adopters. Our goal would be is, I think, Alok, eventually if we can have a network of alliance partners of voluntary agencies, we would host it collectively as a network of.
So fundamentally, one service available, anyone can take it,
yes,
run it as a SaaS, run it in premise, right? So, I mean, it's open, right? Anyone can.
Absolutely. It's up to the adopters and their use case, actually.
Yeah.
So is there a license thing for anybody who can adopt, or like they have to work with Sunbird or eVidyaloka to get that, or they can just download and set it up?
It's now open, right? I think Soumya has done a good job of getting all the installation instructions, etc. It's fairly at least 70-80%. Somebody should be able to take the beta and set up and run. And of course, I think till we get a certain popularity and streamlining of it, there will be an intervention from the core working group to enable them to adopt that.
Yeah, so Sunbird actually uses MIT open source licensing. So if you can, if you go at sunbird.org, you'll find the details. Pretty much everything, whether it is serve or other building blocks, everything is available for anyone to use. There's no licensing requirement at all. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sachin? Is that?
Yeah, okay. Just listening. So I don't have any specific questions. Maybe once we go through more technical, specifically, when we are going with the on-prem or even from the SaaS versions, what are the things will be required from the early adopters? And also, I was thinking about, when we are starting this, how we can pull in more people to start contributing. And one thing is, okay, we make it public and open, but also we need to have a fair idea about what are the main features going forward we want to have in 6 months or even 1 year time. So as we will go in more technical, more interactions, we will get more input from Soumya and Nikita and Shravya also. So to that.
Sure. I think the first MVP, pretty much, eVidyaloka will be contributing the backlog based on what we see in Jupyter, right?
Okay.
I think that that kind of translates the current capability into the new architectural design as well. So that backlog is, I think that's what she's working on, and probably we're looking at. I think that's something Shruti could help expand that use cases into stories and build that backlog. Maybe the next few weeks, that will be the primary step. As we said, the current status, if you look at it, right? We're kind of getting that backlog use cases identified for MVP being reviewed. There is an API design that is happening in parallel, right? And that's what probably Shravya could help in reviewing. Soumya is kind of driving it, can help review it. And there are a couple of features, in the beta instance to be set up, and maybe Raghu, Sachin, if you could pick up just to get warmed up on what this instance and do it. By the time the backlog is kind of there, and then you guys could, of course, pitch in to design, review the design. And probably I would say in the next 3-4 weeks, we should have a clear backlog that can be taken up for a sprint cycles, and people can take up in their own pace and do the development. That's the initial part kind of I see. Maybe individually, Nikita, Soumya can assign or engage till we get that collective momentum. And we could have this maybe once in a month kind of just huddle to just say hi, hello in person. Just kind of gives the feels that you're part of the community. I'm sure, there are couple of more people, developers who are interested, who can kind of pick up and do. I think this is a core group that can bring more thought leadership as we more familiar. And I think we are expecting the Tamil Nadu also to start in probably another couple of weeks. So you'll have more feedback, and Nikita will make sure that is shared back in the Discord on how their adoption is, how it is being set up, etc. From the adopters, she will bring the updates back to this team on the channel.
That'll be great.
So right now the development team is just this people on this call, or you have some more people outside who have not joined today?
I think Sanandan is here. We're doing it. There is one person, Darshana in US. She has come forward. Soumya is a core developer, and there is one. We have an engaged vendor developer in Datamatics team who is there. So 2 of them are not there in this call. They are into, but they are available to do some heavy lifting actually.
Okay, I know we talked about the tech stack. So have we finalized on what is the tech stack we are using? What is used for UI backend?
Yeah. So there is an input. I mean, if there is any further suggestion from this team, we can take. The architects from Xstep, we had the last call, basically had come out with saying I mean, Python is something that current basic, so there's a familiarity of it. Database wise, we can go with a Postgre or MySQL, right? Sunbird is in Postgre, so some of the building blocks are in Postgre, so we can continue retain in it. And we said between the SQL and NoSQL, we thought saying the current version can be on Postgre, and then when you want to look at scale, you always can create an extended NoSQL for the analytics and stuff like that. And UI recommended is to stick to the React and JavaScript based UI. So React.js. So by and large, it's basically, and then the architecture is individual components can be as microservices, maintaining this stack of React.js, Python middle, and then holding their own PostgreSQL actually. So that's the by and large looked at right now. Raghu, any suggestions we can always take, and it's a good time to decide if some component has to be in Java, and as long as they comply to the API and has, if you can build as a microservice, then it gives the. But so far the tech capability is around Python. So he thought we'll stick to Python as a core base. React.js, we need to find few guys. I think I don't know what Darshana is, React.js or a generic HTML UI. We will be adding, I mean, or finding few more people with that expertise. But if this team here would want to pick up on that skill and share, most welcome. Actually, we can take that aspect of the backlog. Actually.
And sometime back, we were discussing about migrating to AWS. So that is complete.
Yes, that is complete, Sachin. Actually, okay. In the current one, there is a small, I mean, a task of Python upgrade, which probably there's one of the guys who had expressed interest, who's not there in this call. He might take up, but again for the beta instance, the new version can be, of course, on the latest version.
Actually, Python upgrade means where are you upgrading from?
Don't ask me. It's like 2.7 actually.
Oh wow. Yeah. So we just did that at my work now. So like it's not that you are behind. So
oh wow, sir, you made my day actually. Yeah. I've been feeling extremely guilty and all.
So I was surprised that sometimes the mentality is if things are working, why go and disturb it? So that's the attitude.
So Soumya, you can feel absolutely reassured that
don't feel bad, So we just did the upgrade to 3.8 probably last month. So it was a terrible thing. I've been complaining it for the last 1.5 years, and finally we got the chance to do that on all the servers. So
please help make that happen here as well, Raghu.
Yeah, I was about to tell.
Bring that, and we have a dev who is willing to do that. So if you can provide your experiences, it can happen faster.
Yeah, the main issue which I found, I don't know if we want to have time to discuss.
Yeah, I think we can take that up offline actually. In the interest of
there are a lot of changes in 3.6. So if you migrate it, you need to make sure the code gets changed. Otherwise, things won't work properly. So you got to be careful with that upgrade.
Yeah, we'll have a thread for that actually.
Actually, Venkat, I have a suggestion. Maybe you should do share some of the relevant information on the discussion forum of Serve in terms of technical architecture, the decisions done, why certain things the way, and then maybe do a dedicated session.
Yeah.
So that, and then bring Railu and whoever else, right, from architectural perspective, because it will help everyone to come on the same page. Because some of these questions are very
I think we'll have a smaller
important.
Groups offline. Maybe I think that's where I love Discordance. Like we can just do a quick huddle there, 10-15 minutes. I mean, half an hour, and then can keep that.
And you can, whoever is relevant folks who wants to know this, right, you can do that.
Yeah.
Because I think there are some of the other aspects. Probably you have to, bring everyone on kind of up to speed in terms of pluggability, in terms of, options, which whether it's a cloud, whether it's storage, right? How do we want to go about reaching that?
Right. Yeah, I think we will definitely have, Soumya would establish that build and deploy automation script established, and then have with a smaller group of people how they could arrive at adding the sprints practices that they could follow in their components. Actually. Sashi, anything you would want to add? Well, we're just about closing on time.
You have any question?
No. I was going to say, since you're talking about databases, like you're discussing about MySQL and Postgres, I actually am much more experienced with Postgres than
Sanandan,
MySQL.
can you come closer and do it? It's little jarry your
Oh,
voice. Yes,
so you're talking about databases. I actually have more experience in Postgres than MySQL. I find it to be more less more easier, like less buggy for me, and it's just easier to use overall. Just pitching in.
It's awesome. So we have a DB focused already in place actually.
I've done some projects. They're mostly in Postgres or MongoDB.
Okay.
Like I have a few in MongoDB, and yeah.
I think Sunbird has got Cassandra into it. So I don't know if there is a huge difference between MongoDB and Cassandra. And probably MongoDB is the latest trend, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that can come once we have start data pumping in few adoptions in place. Actually.
And yeah, also about the discussion forum had one out there. Yeah, we're using Discord server. Like, are you going to post a server like in a specific page, or like will it just be a private?
Sorry, can you come again? It's not very legible.
So yeah, putting so for the discussion forum, that's going to be on like a community page, right? Or will that just be a private group?
The discussion forum, will it be a community page or a private forum?
Oh, it'll be a community page actually. It's there in Discord. Sanathan, if you can join that Discord group, it's an open channel, and then the contents page, which is the powered by JetBook, which is Sunbird serves documentation. We will have both are public and this thing can be shared and exchanged. Essentially, we should use GitHub discussions for any capturing any decisions, discussions, as what Alok mentioned. We can use Discord for communications, quick huddles, and things like that, so that the archive, the trail remains in the GitHub forum. So you can use another maximum GitHub as much you can, and catch any one of us on the Discord channel.
Okay.
Yeah. See, everything will be in open forum. Nothing will be in any private forum.
Yeah, that's the whole
Whatever it
idea.
may
In
be.
fact, we can make this also available for
Yes.
any
We
news
should.
liners.
Yeah. So even one, sync calls like this one, everything is available for the community. So nothing is behind the walls.
Channel and start putting it.
Yes. So that is number one. Number two, as I think Venkat, you also rightly said, that Huddle is more for quick, actionable, follow through, quick conversations like Slack or WhatsApp. Discussion forum is where you should talk. You should use that for more design, more broader, more deeper conversation, so that the knowledge base starts to build for others in future to leverage.
Yeah.
So I think we, as a community, will also get into that practice. It will take a little bit nudging, and self-awareness, but that's fine. We'll
I think that's where people like Sanandan and Sarvesh will help us more active on Discord and
because all of us have a bias towards Huddle, bias towards Discords and WhatsApps of the world. So you guys have to keep us in check.
Sure.
So Discord, Venkat, will you be sharing on the GitHub or somewhere?
Yes. We'll put that in the comment landing page. Its channel is already created. In that adopters, Soumya, let's create that landing page in the contributors section of Serve, and have the 4 links that Nikita just had can be added directly. So people can join both the Jira board and the Discord and JIT as an org.
Yeah. One more thing, Venkat, I know, of course, you're aware, but just want to bring it, although the community practice and some of the stuff, right, which as a Sunbird practice has been, published and adopted, I would really urge everyone here to basically help to even improve that. There is nothing, cast in stone. That is also a very initial journey. In many ways, Sunbird as a community is very infancy if I look at many other matured open source communities across the world. So I think we should not take anything as is. We should always reflect and see what is a better way, and we should all be open to bring that in. So I just want to keep that also as a point here.
Yeah, no, very well said. In fact, we would try to kind of tweak or kind of create versions of that as well, actually. Yeah. So I think we are kind of run short 5-6 minutes, but I think Shravya had a class and she had to go. But it's wonderful coming around together. So I see a very logical next step is please do take a look at. We'll post this deck as well on the forum, on the Discord channel as a link. Few quick immediate ones, as we said, is get that backlog done. I think with Nikita can coordinate with Shruti and a few extra product manager folks to draw the stories. We have the design review and API thing done. Probably that will take Sachin, Raghu, and Shavia's help in finalizing that API design and the microservice component architecture to be done. Followed, we have two stores. Maybe there's a story student login, and then there is one instance to be set up and deploy. Maybe Sachin and Raghu, you could help pick any one of them to warm up to the general environment stack. And that could be a great starting point. Sanathan is already on to a feature. I think he has his exams. So once he's back a week or two, I think we'll have some backlog items for him to pick to take it forward from there. I think once these backlog plus the our core design is finalized, we could probably have another shorter huddle and pick up the blocks from there, and we will be familiarized by the time, probably in the 3 weeks time, we'll say. Is how I see this taking shape. Any other last further comments you wants to share? Yeah, Sachin?
No, nothing. Looking forward to make it a success. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, folks. It's been wonderful sharing to it. Thanks, Shruti. Thanks, Raghu. Thanks, Kamesh. Alok, Naveen, and
thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Have a wonderful weekend.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
You.
Bye.
Thank you all.